Welcome back to Cord Cutting Today, where we break down some of the biggest stories happening in the world of cord cutting, including Disney selling off some of its cable TV networks. We'll tell you what's happening there, which ones they are looking at, and more with it. Maybe some you didn't even know they owned. Also, Sinclair, one of the largest owners of local television stations, is looking at getting bigger by buying more ABC, CBS, Fox, and NBC stations. We'll tell you from who and what's happening there. And YouTube TV's added a new sports network. It's an old one coming back. We'll tell you which one and more here in a quick second. First, though, if you're new here, you can always find a link to every story I talk about. I like to give you my opinion on these stories, but you can read them down below in the show notes and in the first pinned comment. Come up with your own opinion and leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear from you. If you're new here, you can always do us a favor, hit that subscribe button or hit that thumbs up. Do one or both. Let YouTube know you enjoy what we do here so YouTube can recommend our videos to more people, helping us grow and hopefully help you break free from the high cost of TV, but still watch the shows you enjoy. All right, let's dive into it. Disney is once again looking to sell some of its cable TV networks. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but Disney is one of the two main owners of the A&E Global Media. So A&E Network, History Channel, BBC America, and more are all technically Disney-owned networks. Well, Disney, along with their partner there, Hearst Media, are reportedly in talks to sell it. Now, Starz is reportedly one of the big buyers. According to a report from Bloomberg, they've popped up as being interested in buying the networks from Disney with this, for A&E with it. Now, A&E and Disney are reportedly not so interested in the Starz offer. They're looking for more money, but it doesn't mean that Starz can't work out a deal with them, but that these networks are being shopped around. They went up for sale earlier this year. We had that report. But now we're learning that Starz is potentially one of the big owners of it. Now, this comes as Starz, the cable TV network, has been spun off from Lionsgate into an independent company, and that leaves them kind of in a tough spot. You know, a lot of people have speculated, is Starz network on its own enough to survive, or will it need to try to sell itself, or in this case, buy some stuff to expand its media footprint? We'll watch this very closely, but both sides are interested here. A&E is interested in being sold. Starz is interested in buying. It all comes down to, can a price that both sides are happy with be reached? We'll watch it closely. But if not Starz, another group is very likely to buy these. Disney seems very interested in offloading their ownership of these networks. It'll be interesting to see if just the Disney side of this sells, or if both companies sell off their interest in these networks 100%. We'll watch it. And as we learn more, we'll let you know. Speaking of things being sold, the local TV station ownership is changing rapidly. Nexstar is buying Tinga, making itself even bigger. It's the largest owner of TV stations. But another big one is Sinclair, which owns a lot of local ABC, CBS, Fox, and NBC stations, while they are in talks to buy EW Scripps Network. Own stations with this. We'll see how this works out, but they've revealed that they are in talks for it. Exactly how it works out, we'll get approval and more, is all big questions right now. But with the FCC signaling its willingness to end long-standing rules about ownership of local television stations and market, which has kind of worked out this way. It's some kind of oversimplification, but the local TV stations, for example, if a company owns an ABC in one market, they could not own another Fox, CBS, or ABC or NBC in that same market. Now, there's been loopholes and things that some companies have taken advantage of for some time. But under the new rules, they would allow companies to own multiple big stations in the same market. And companies like Sinclair and Nexstar are rushing to try to take advantage of this change to grow and get bigger. Now, both these would need approval. We'll wait and see how this plays out. But big changes coming to local ownership of TV stations. Don't be surprised if you see quite a few of them sold in years to come with this. All right, let's keep moving along. YouTube TV, a lot happened. They just struck a deal to get Disney channels back. Well, they also earlier this year struck a deal with NBC Universal to renew its contract with them. With that, they struck a deal to re-add NBC Sports. Now, NBC Sports shut down not that long ago. Now, NBC Universal is relaunching it. Now, this comes as they get ready to spin off USA Network, Sci-Fi, MSNBC, CNBC, etc. into an independent company. Now, the sports that they had been airing, especially on USA, are now going to be moving over to the NBC Sports Network that's relaunching. And YouTube TV is the first provider to offer it. Now, it will be coming to others, including Comcast here in the next few weeks and more providers in the weeks and months to come. But YouTube TV is adding it. Now, one note here. A lot of people use custom guides to like reorder their guide or only show their favorite channels on it. If that's you, you would have to go into your custom guide settings on YouTube TV on your app or website and add NBC Sports to it. NBC Sports to it, I should say. Now, it is live at the time of this recording. You can go find it on YouTube TV. All right, next up, Verizon is cutting about 15,000 jobs and getting rid of some of its stores. Now, this was confirmed by Reuters, first reported by Wall Street Journal, but some more details on the Reuters story here. According to the report, Verizon will start to eliminate 15,000 positions. A lot of this seems to come from the elimination of 180 company-owned stores by turning them into franchise stores or shutting them down maybe if they can't sell them. But also from mid-level managers, consolidating the number of managers they have, cutting back, having managers cover more stores, more markets, more employees with this. But I'm sure there'll be some additional ones with this. But Verizon joining a growing trend of companies cutting back employees. Amazon, UPS, Verizon, others all cutting thousands of employees this fall. A few things here. Verizon's not saying it, but I do widely suspect that AI is a big part of this. Automating a lot of these low-level manager jobs that maybe oversaw payroll or different things that can now be done by AI. Keep an eye on that. I think that's a lot what's happening here. But also with that, a lot of what's happening here is them switching over to the 180 of their Verizon-owned stores to franchise stores. I'm not a big fan of that. I always preferred going to the company stores versus franchise stores when I had a problem. Always seemed to work better for me, but maybe that's just me. Speaking of wireless, with Verizon, one of their big competitors, AT&T, is making some improvements to its 5G network, and this comes from spectrum it bought from Dish's parent company, EchoStar. Now, a few months ago, we reported the first sale, and they've expanded it since then, but Dish's parent company, EchoStar, has decided that they're no longer going to continue to pursue building their own 5G network, and they sold most of their spectrum to AT&T and SpaceX. Now, AT&T has announced that they have improved its 5G spectrum and expanded its 3.45 gigahertz license that had acquired from Dish's parent company, EchoStar, to improve its 5G service in 5,300 cities across 48 states. Now, with this, Dish's Boost Mobile will now use the AT&T network going forward. They'll transition customers over that. They had been building their own network to have their own 5G network across the country, so they didn't have to do that. Boost Mobile is the fourth largest provider of wireless service right now. It's been losing customers, though, from stiff competition, and Dish was struggling to find the cash on hand to finish building out its 5G network. And now it's just decided for billions, I do mean billions, it's sold the spectrum to two different companies and is getting out of that business. We'll keep an eye on it, but if you're an AT&T customer, you may notice your 5G internet working better. It comes from Dish and their spectrum. All right, today in TV history, we got a few here. Now, this one's hard to believe. 17 years ago this week, the first Twilight movie premiered with this. Any Twilight fans here? Hard to believe, but it's been 17 years since it first aired. And now here's one a little closer to my heart. 4 years ago, G4 TV relaunched. After being a wildly popular network in the 2000s, waning interest as internet and more grew, shut down in the early 2010s, and now relaunched 4 years ago, not even to survive a year before it shut down again. Now, G4 was an internet, gaming, and tech culture kind of focused network. And it, for many people like myself, found out about when they bought Tech TV back in the day and merged it in there. But wildly popular network at the time, but with the growth of YouTube and Twitch and other places, its focus as being the place you went to get news on gaming and technology kind of waned. Never really found its footing in the current age. And a relaunch of it, if you follow me on Twitter, or now X, you know I from day one of the relaunch, I said they mismanaged it. I thought it was horribly run. I do believe it could have been successful in a totally different format and totally different focus. But within a year, they sadly shut it down. So there's two big Today TV history. Are you a fan of Twilight movies? Let me know. Is it hard to believe it's been 17 years? Leave me a comment. Also, were you a fan of G4, either the original or the relaunch? Leave me a comment. Let me know. All right, a few more stories. Jeff Bezos, Amazon's founder, is launching a new AI startup that he will co-run here. Now, this is called Project Prometheus, and has raised billions of dollars, $6.2 billion, some of his own money, to build a new AI. Be interesting to see how this competes with Amazon's Alexa, because they have an AI. They just rolled out an upgraded version of it. It's great for a lot of things. I don't know. I have it. I don't think it's as great as some of the competitor AIs on the market. Be interesting to see what he does here. I think this is kind of one of the things you've heard me say this with streaming services. There's more streaming services on the market than can survive. There's just not enough people willing to pay for all the ones out there. And once all that investor money dries up, at some point, some of these aren't going to make it. I'm starting to think the same thing with AI. There are so many AIs on the market that right now I think AIs are being boosted by investments from investors trying to figure out which ones are going to be successful. It's more than one will be, but maybe not as many as are on the market right now. We'll have to keep an eye on this. But Jeff Bezos seems to think that he can do something others aren't with AI, and he's investing big, and not just investing, but working on it, taking the reins himself as co-CEO to help lead it. We'll watch it closely, but another big AI is coming soon. All right, now we've all heard about PBS losing funding with this as the federal government's cut funding for NPR and PBS. Now John Oliver has launched an auction for last week tonight's auction to include an original Bob Ross painting, support public broadcasting. Now, this comes as $1.1 billion has been eliminated for the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, who would take that money and disseminate it across both NPR and PBS with this. So if you're interested in trying to help PBS, check out that auction. Link in the show notes if you want to learn more about it. Well, that's it for today. I hope you all have a fantastic day. Take care. Be safe. I'll be back again tomorrow. Don't forget, you can find a link to every story in the show notes and in the first pinned comment. And if you're new here, made this far, I post a video like this every day. Consider hitting that subscribe button or hitting that thumbs up. We would really appreciate it. Until next time, take care. Be safe. I'll talk to you all again tomorrow.